Hello everyone, welcome to my Shogi channel. In a 4-piece dwarf handicap, the handicap giver, Uwate removes the rook, bishop, and lances. Unlike the 6-piece dwarf, the knight helps between the edge, which makes it harder to succeed with an edge attack. Even so, there is still a way to attack the edge by targeting the weak point where the lance is missing. In this video, I will explain how the handicap taker, Shitate, attacks the edge using the climbing silver strategy. In a 4-piece dwarf, it is still important for Shitate to use the rook and bishop effectively. However, since Uwate has a knight in their camp, the attack with bishop to 6 does not work well. So, you should remember that Uwate can build a formation that gathers pieces towards the center. Since Shitate plans to attack with the climbing silver strategy, they should first exchanging the pawn in front of the rook. This not only gives Shitate a pawn in hand, but also makes it easier to advance the silver. After exchanging a pawn, move the rook back to 2-8. If they move it back to 2-6, it is hard for the silver to advance. In the climbing silver strategy, it is said that moving the rook back to 2-8 is the correct move. Now, it is time to push the silver forward and prepare for the attack. Uwate also moves the pieces forward, but Shitate's attack is faster. This is not a common plan in an even game, but advancing the pawn to 1-5 is a crucial point in this strategy. Since Uwate does not have a lance in their camp, they cannot respond to pawn to 1-6 with pawn to 1-7. Uwate defends carefully by using the silver to guard the edge and advancing the pawn to 5-5 to reduce the power of Shitate's bishop. Even so, Shitate can still start an edge attack with pawn to 1-4. After pawn takes, taking the pawn back with the silver is a good move. However, pawn dwarf 1-2 is an important move that you should remember to win in a 4-piece dwarf. This dangling pawn attack works because of the weakness in Uwate's camp, where the lance is missing. Uwate cannot remove the pawn on 1-2, so they move their pieces towards the center to counterattack. By playing silver to 4-4 to defend the pawn on 5-5, they aim to attack later with pawn to 7-5. After Shitate advances the silver to 1-4, Uwate plays pawn dwarf 1-3 to attack the silver. Well, the counterattack with silver takes 2-3 promote works. The promoted silver will soon be captured, but Shitate can promote a pawn and take the knight, so the material loss is not worse. More importantly, Shitate gains an advantage by letting an attacking piece enter Uwate's camp and preparing to break through the second file. By the way, if Uwate responds to silver takes 2-3 promotes with gold takes, then pawn to 1-1 promotes, silver takes, rook takes 2-3 promotes, reaching a winning position for Shitate. After capturing the knight, Shitate can now aim for lance takes 1-3 promotes. So Uwate defends with pawn to 1-4, but Shitate can still chase the gold with taking to 3-1 and continue the attack with lance takes 1-4. If Uwate captures the lance with the silver, rook takes 2-2 promotes gives Shitate a winning position. Uwate can no longer defend the second file, so they prepare a counterattack with knight to 7-3. Shitate plays taking to 2-1 to move the gold and then makes a planned move lance to 1-3 promotes to break through the enemy camp. After breaking through the enemy camp, chase Uwate's gold and silver with the taking and promoted lance. It is important to move the taking and promoted lance so that the rook on 2-8 can promote. Uwate reduces their pieces, but Shitate successfully promotes the rook. Uwate advancing the silver and knight to counterattack, but if Shitate defends calmly, there is no problem. When Uwate plays pawn to 5-6 to launch an attack, continuing with pawn takes, silver takes, promoted lance to 3-4. Because Uwate advancing the pawn on 5-5, Shitate's bishop becomes active in the attack, making Shitate's offense stronger. In this way, in a 4-piece draw, remember to aim for an edge attack with pawn draw 1 tool that targets Uwate's weakness of having no lance. If you would like to review the explanation of this video, I also recommend referring to my article. I have placed the Patreon link in this video description, so please feel free to access it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next Shogi video.